Hey everyone, today I'll be going over two useful details we'll be adding to our servers, Apparmor and HTTPS. First, we'll start by going over Apparmor. Apparmor is a security tool used on Linux systems that regulates the mandatory access control settings to block certain capabilities of applications based on predefined set of rules. It works by creating security profiles for applications and defining what tasks they can and cannot perform, as well as what resources they can and cannot access. Apparmor utilizes file paths to manage these profiles, simplifying the process of controlling them. It can help prevent lateral movement of security threats in a system by isolating it within an application during an attack. In order to check the current status of Apparmor, you can use the command sudo apparmor_status. This will display active profiles, profiles in enforce mode, profiles in complain mode, and profiles that have been flagged. Sudo aa_status can also be used to just list the loaded profiles. Some recommendations for hardening the server security using Apparmor. It is important to restrict access of profiles to only the files they require in order to decrease the surface area of an attack. Next, you must utilize the principle of least privilege to deny access as default unless it has been explicitly granted. And lastly, remove any unnecessary profile that's no longer in use. The next feature I'll be covering is HTTPS. Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, otherwise HTTPS for short, is a protocol for securing data transmitted over the internet through the use of encryption. The protocol involves an initialization through the user first establishing a connection with a website by exchanging cryptographic keys with the server through an SSL/TLS handshake. All preceding data exchanged among the server is then encrypted with a session key. This prevents many eavesdropping attacks, such as man-in-the-middle attacks and any unauthorized access of data in transmit. HTTPS must not be confused with its other transfer protocol counterpart, HTTP. The key difference between these two is the level of security. HTTP is the standard protocol for transferring data on the web using just plain text. It does not utilize encryption and therefore leaves information transmitted susceptible to hackers. On the other hand, HTTPS serves as the more secure version of HTTP by providing encryption protocols. Websites that use HTTPS grant users more trust and provide a secure connection. One of the servers we will be configuring is the Internet Information Services server. IIS is a web server offered by Microsoft, which can be used to host websites and web applications. It is optimized to handle large amounts of traffic, making it good for organizational use among larger businesses. It also offers lots of tools to manage and oversee server activity, as well as offers command line and PowerShell integration for automating tasks. This server is also optimal with businesses who use lots of Microsoft tools, and it easily integrates with the Internet Information Services server. Here are some security hardening recommendations for the IIS. To reduce attack surface, ensure all IIS modules that will not be used are disabled. Utilize web application firewalls and enable access controls to limit access to sensitive files and ensure users have access to certain folders that are only specific to their roles. Lastly, configure detailed logging and monitoring on your server to allow for faster diagnosis and detection of security threats. In general, Use of aforementioned HTTPS is recommended with the implementation of strong encryption standards. The next server we will be configuring is Apache. Apache is a Linux-based server regarded as one of the most widely used web servers in the world. It is an open source server, free to the public, meaning it has large active communities continuously providing feedback, developments, and security updates. Its modular architecture allows for the deletion or addition of necessary features based on the needs of the server. It also allows for the hosting of multiple websites using a single IP with the use of virtual hosting. Apache is also fairly easy to configure, making its implementation into an organizational network more streamlined. Here are some security hardening recommendations for Apache. First, you can limit the resource usage on an Apache server to prevent denial of service attacks. You can also use mod security for Apache to filter certain traffic that may be seen as a threat. Lastly, configuring proper file permissions and ownership settings can greatly bolster your server's security. And similar with IIS, HTTPS is also the suggested transfer protocol for transmitting information through the server securely.